What if I told you that one of the most profound stories about moral courage was written by a Russian author who died at just 33 years old? Vsevolod Garshin's The Signal explores what happens when ordinary people face extraordinary moral choices.
That's fascinating. And what really strikes me is how this story from 1887 feels so relevant to modern ethical dilemmas. The way it explores moral decision making under pressure is timeless.
You know what's really interesting about the setup? Garshin places these two railway workers, Semyon and Vasily, in identical circumstances, but their responses couldn't be more different. It's like a controlled experiment in human nature.
Hmm, that's such a compelling way to look at it. The isolation of their job becomes almost like a pressure cooker for their moral character.
Right. And what's fascinating is how Garshin shows Vasily's gradual descent into criminality. It's not some sudden fall from grace. It's this slow erosion of principles that happens day by day.
The psychological realism there is remarkable. You know, it reminds me of studies on ethical decision making that show how small compromises can lead to bigger moral failures over time.
Well, that's exactly what makes this story so powerful. It's not just about that one dramatic moment with the red shirt. It's about all the small choices that come before it. Like Semyon's daily dedication to his duty is what prepares him for that ultimate test.
Speaking of that red shirt moment, the symbolism there is incredible. It becomes both a literal life saving device and this powerful metaphor for sacrifice.
And you know what's really striking about that scene? There's no internal monologue, no weighing of options. Semyon just acts. It's like all those years of doing the right thing had programmed his moral reflexes.
That's such an important point about character development. So, how do you think this relates to modern workplace ethics and decision making?
Well, think about whistleblowers or people who speak up against corporate wrongdoing. They often face the same kind of isolation Semyon did, having to make a crucial moral choice with no guarantee of support or recognition.
The stakes might be different, but the essential moral challenge remains the same, doesn't it?
Exactly, Be. And here's what's really interesting. Studies show that people who act ethically in crisis situations usually have a history of making smaller ethical choices consistently. It's like moral muscle memory.
That makes me think about how the story explores different kinds of strength physical versus moral courage.
You know, that's such a crucial distinction. And what's fascinating is how Garshin uses this remote railway setting as a kind of moral laboratory. These men are literally the only thing standing between safety and disaster for hundreds of travelers.
The geographical isolation really amplifies the stakes of their choices, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And here's something else to consider. In our age of constant connectivity and social media, the idea of making a heroic choice without any guarantee of recognition seems almost foreign. But that's exactly what makes Semyon's sacrifice so pure.
That contrast with modern culture really brings out the story's relevance. We're so focused on visibility now, but true moral courage often happens in isolation.
And you know what's really powerful? The way Garshin shows how our daily choices shape who we become. It's not about waiting for some big moment to be heroic. It's about building the kind of character that will do the right thing when that moment comes.
That's quite a challenging message for our instant gratification culture.
Well, I think that's exactly why this story still resonates today. It reminds us that character isn't built in a moment. It's developed through countless small choices over time. And in the end, those choices determine who we really are when it matters most.
So perhaps that's the real signal we should be watching for in our own lives. Those daily opportunities to strengthen our moral character.
That's beautifully put. And maybe that's where we should leave our listeners, thinking about what kind of signal their own choices are sending to the world.